now to turn to the pregame HQ delivered by Domino's. The Minnesota organization has led the way in NFL community outreach. More than 2 decades ago, Vikings head coach Dennis Green initiated the idea of encouraging players to volunteer on their only day off. In July, the league and its communities lost a beloved friend when Dennis Green passed away from cardiac arrest at the age of 67. From 1992 to 2001, he led the Vikings to the playoffs in 8 of his 10 seasons at the helm. Some remember him for his fiery press conference while coaching the Arizona Cardinals. Most think of him as a pioneer, but as we are about to learn, he should also be acknowledged for so much more, especially at this time of year.
When I think of Denny Green, many things come to mind, and Thanksgiving is definitely one of them.
We knew that there would always be extra people at our Thanksgiving table.
Just laid on those strolls. Let's get that timing down.
It might be a player, it might be somebody who works in the office.
Faith, family, and football is what Dennis Green really put forward to all his players.
Zachary, Dennis William Green born on Friday. Great weekend getting preparation. Out on the field, beat the Saints. And I get to pick him up at 5:30. So
that's a beautiful thing to see his father announcing to the world that our son Zach was born.
Yeah, Denny wanted to win, but family was so important to him. He just made it so easy to do your job as a father as well as a coach.
Well, everything about Denny, when he was a college player, when he was assistant coach, very, very cognizant of the place of the player in the community as a whole.
We started a bunch of programs. On Mondays, team meetings, he would always champion the guys to get out in the community.
You got to want to be good as an individual, and then that individualness has to turn into what you want to get accomplished as a team.
We touched elementary schools, hospitals, I mean, you name it, we touched it. And I think it was the blueprint for what the NFL views as Community Tuesdays, which is a Denny Green program that he started 20 years ago.
I'd been around football a long time, and I'd seen community relations departments, I'd seen PR departments do that, encourage the players. I'd never seen a head coach go to that length of saying, hey, we've got to do this.
Well, he cared about people.
All right, OT, thank you, appreciate it.
He just wanted them as players to go back to the time when they were young and dreaming like those kids who aspire to want to be in the National Football League. Then he gave my sons, Marcus and Larry, their first jobs as ball boys. And years later, drafts Larry with the highest pick in Cardinals history.
How you doing?
Well, Denny, he was a pioneer. He was one of the first young African-American coaches that I came across in the National Football League. I was a third-year player with the 49ers. He was my special teams coach, and I saw him as a role model.
I see Dennis as someone who was proud of breaking barriers and making things the way they should be.
And now the fun starts, man. Now that's what it's all about.
He was the first African-American head coach in the Big Ten. He was the first African-American head coach in what was the Pac-10. Second African-American coach in NFL recent history.
He never really looked at it as, you know, look at me, I'm achieving these things. He looked at it as, I can help try to make the path a little smoother for the people that were following him.
This wasn't just something he read in a leadership manual. This wasn't just something, geez, this will look good. This was to his core.
It would have been very fitting for Denny to be the first African-American coach to win a Super Bowl. Didn't happen. We come along and win it, and I certainly thought about him as the clock was winding down, and I knew I was going to go up on that podium as the first African-American coach to win that game. But a big part of me was thinking, thank you, Denny. Wouldn't be here without you.
Dennis went into cardiac arrest on July 2nd.
I got a call from Marie. She told me that he wasn't doing well.
Dennis fought really hard to live. He loved life, and he fought so hard.
It hurt to lose a guy who was so young and had so much to give.
He was just so genuinely interested and cared about you as a person. That was Denny through and through.
He helped me be a better person.
Dennis never let us down. He just never let us down.
Many thanks to Mrs. Green and all who participated with our producer, Charlie Bloom, and that really represented the totality of Denny Green. And, Coach, I know you've often said we tend to focus on the behavior of the aberrant few, but this is the NFL you know.
Yeah, it is. And, Denny and I came into the league in 1992 as both first-time head coaches in the league, and we both won early. And I just remember at the league meetings, this guy was so well-respected. And I think, as you saw in that piece, is Denny always talked about the player's role. And whether it be in the community or even as a role model, the responsibilities you had with that. And when he got up and spoke at the league meetings, people listened. He will be sorely missed because he touched a lot of people in the NFL community, JB.
No question about that, Coach. All right, we're getting ready for